Hello guys, welcome to PyOPy. So in the last video we have learned how to install Python. So let's go ahead and do some stuff. So if the Python is installed in your system, then you can actually see it by typing over here Python. So you will be getting some files and programs. So the programs which are of our importance are, first one is this idle, and the second one is the Python 3.8. So the first one is the by default IDE for Python, whose name is idle, and the second one is the Python shell. So if I click on Python 3.8, which is the Python shell, then I'll be seeing a black colored window. Okay, so this is like the command prompt which is available in the Windows. So it will also give the results like 5 plus 6. Okay, so but it is not that preferable to develop the Python programs. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll actually use idle. Okay, so I'll use this idle. So this is the default IDE given by Python. So now the question is, what is an IDE? Okay, so what is an IDE? Okay, so IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. Okay, so it is a kind of functionality which gives an environment for us, and what that environment does is, this environment can be used for the development process. Okay, and it is actually integrated with the system's interpreter, that is Python's interpreter, and our code. Okay, so this is the complete meaning of an IDE. So in our case, I'm using Python's IDLE. So it is actually idle or IDLE, whatever you can say. So in the first time, you will be seeing a white colored screen instead of this blue screen. So I actually configured it using this options and then configure idle, and I've actually used this highlights section, and I've changed color from this section. So you can do the same thing as well. Okay, so you can change the color of foreground or maybe the background as well, so that is up to you. Okay, similarly you can use the font size as well. The font size can be increased from this section. Okay, similarly indentation can also be adjusted from this section. So as of now I've used the indentation as 4 spaces. So one indentation means 4 spaces. So what is indentation? Indentation is basically the amount of spaces given to a Python program as soon as a tab is pressed. Okay, so Python is all about indentations. So we'll be discussing indentation more, but as of now I'll be using the indentation as 4 spaces. Okay, so you can do the settings from this particular section. Okay, so this will be the idle presented to you. Okay, so one way is to use the idle as it is, like using any computations directly from this. Okay, but the efficient way is, we can actually create a file and then we type the code in that particular file, and after that when we'll run that particular file, then the output will be shown here. So this is a kind of window which can be used to see the output. Okay, so I'll be using a file, new file. So this will be the file that I'll be using. So I'll be typing the code over here, and the output will be shown here in the Python idle. Okay, so let me use something, let's say 10 plus 4, which is 14. So the way we use a file is clicking on run, or we have a shortcut as well, that is F5. So first of all I'll have to save this file. Let's say, let me save this file on desktop with the name file1. Okay, so .py will be added automatically after this file because it is a Python file. So it was saved, and we can see the output as 14. Okay, we didn't get the output actually, so let's try it once more. So let's use that file again. Okay, so I'll actually have to use the print statement, because since this is a file, so this will give the output only when a print statement is used. But if we are on this idle, then no need to use the print statement, it will directly give the output. Okay, so let's say 56 plus 4, this is 60. But if I type the same thing in the file, it will not give the output. 56 plus maybe 5, and I'll run this file. Okay, so nothing happened. So we'll actually have to use print statement. So what print statement does is, print is actually used to print the output on the screen. So I'll use print function. Print is basically a function, so we'll be discussing more about the functions in the later videos, but as of now we'll be using this function directly. So in the print function, I'll pass the desired input, and accordingly I'll be getting the output. Okay, so let's save this file by Ctrl S, and then let's run this file using F5. Okay, so we can see the output over here, 61. Okay, so one way is to use Python's default idle, Python's default IDE, which is idle, but it is preferred to use in some more IDEs as far as the Python's development is concerned. So we should be knowing about the more IDEs, like how many IDEs we do have for the development of Python. Okay, so we must at least know about their names. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, this is one way how we actually code in Python. So we'll place these two windows here. So we'll type the code here, and accordingly we'll be seeing the output in this particular section. So let's say I use hello world. So I'll save this program and I'll press F5. So I can see 61 due to this print statement and hello world due to this statement. So we can see here that we have 61 and hello world in the output. So one way is this, but I would recommend to use the other IDEs of Python for Python development. So some names are like some of the IDEs are which are used for Python development. For the first one is IDLE, which we have just seen. Second one is a very famous IDE, PyCharm. Third one is Sublime Text. Fourth one is Atom. Fifth one is VS Code, Visual Studio Code. Sixth one is Spider. Seventh one is Jupyter or Jupyter, whatever you can say. Next is Jupyter Lab. Okay, and we have a lot more IDEs. Okay, so I'll type a lot more. Okay, so this Jupyter and Jupyter Lab, these are basically used for data science purpose, but you can actually use them for normal Python development as well. Okay, plus we have another IDE that is being given to us by the Google. So Google has given us a default IDE which is very good one, and the name is Google Collaboratory. Google Collaboratory, sorry. ठीक है, and we have other IDs as well. ठीक है, other IDs. So I'll be using Sublime Text as a preference for these videos. So I may switch on to any other IDE in the future. As of now, I'll be using Sublime Text. So let's see how we can actually download and configure Sublime Text. So I'll go to the browser and I'll search for Sublime Text download. So this is the first link and the official website of Sublime Text. So I should see it for Windows. So this is the link for Windows. So it is giving portable version as well, but I'll be installing Windows 64 version. But I think we have so in this particular laptop I have 32-bit Windows. Okay, so I'll be using this version, which should be of 32-bit. Okay, so it's getting downloaded. So this is the IDE which I'll be using for the future videos. Okay, let's pause the video for a while. Okay, so it has downloaded. I'll click on the exe and I'll install it. So the installation is straightforward. We'll use next, I accept, next, install. So one thing about a very cool thing about this software is that it is actually very lightweight. So it is just of 30 MB. Okay, so we installed it, and now I'll explain you how to use it. So let's close these files because we'll be using Sublime Text from now. So let's search for, okay, Sublime Text can be seen over here. So I've clicked on Sublime Text and it's getting loaded. Okay, so this is Sublime Text's interface. So what we have to do is we have actually we'll have to create a project, or what we can do is we can actually use a folder as well. Okay, so let me create a folder which is Python practice, and we'll be placing all the Python files in this particular folder. So one way to open this folder in Sublime Text is File, Open Folder, and then browsing the particular folder. Okay, but another way to open the folder is just drag and drop that particular folder on the IDE. So this is much simpler. Okay, so we can see that the folder is opened in this particular IDE. So what I can do is I can actually add a Python file by doing a right click, and then I can actually use a new file and using Control S I can name the file. So let's say the file is my file1, but this time we'll have to use .py because it is the Sublime Text and it is capable of storing any kind of file. So we'll have to use .py. Okay, save, and then we can actually use the Python code. So let's use print statement. So we'll be learning how to use this print statement in a very great detail in the next video. As of now, I'm just using it for a simpler task. So let's print hello world. Okay, so to run a Python program in Sublime Text, we actually have to use this build system. Okay, we can use Control plus B. Okay, let's use Control plus B and then Python, and we can see that hello world is printed over here. So this is the way how we can actually use Sublime Text for Python. Okay, and to zoom the contents we can actually use Control plus. Okay, cool. So in the next video we'll be learning how to use the print statement and how we can actually use this in different ways. Okay, thank you so much guys. Goodbye, not goodbye actually, bye.